how'd you become interested in photography? How'd you make your way
do you want
to photography?
You want the short version or the long version?
Probably short.
Like a medium version?
Yeah, kind of. Where did you start and how'd you get here?
Well, when I was 15 or 16, my mom gave me her camera for Christmas. She gave me her old 35mm for Christmas. And I was in a band at the time, so I wanted to take pictures of our band. So I was the only one that knew how to do it. And so I just kind of played around with the camera, read the manual, I don't know. And then I guess that kind of got me started, and I took a class on it, and you develop your own film, and that was really cool. And I guess that was like in the back of my mind, but I didn't know I could really do that for a living. You know, I was like, that's just kind of like a fun hobby. And I didn't really think about it. I was so into music, I didn't really think about it. Right. And then when I was in the band, Trust Company, when we were touring, I said, I got to get a camera to document this stuff. Mm-hmm. So I bought, a Canon 10D, the first, one of the first digital, back in 04 or 03, and we're just, taking pictures and learning how to do long exposure, just all kinds of stuff like that. And then there was a girl in LA, a friend of the band, that she was a model, and I said, hey, let's just go take some pictures. Mm-hmm. Let's just see what happens. So we went out for like 3 hours and took like 1,200 pictures, and out of that, like 6 were good. And so that kind of made me, hey, I can have some kind of career at this. I mean, they would turn out really good, and I was like, well, I kind of showed them to my friends and people in the band. They were like, man, these are awesome. So I kind of got some positive feedback. So I just kind of went from there.
So were you a technical shooter in the beginning on art?
To be creative, you need to have that technical side, because that will allow you to have the information you need to get the shot that you want. So if you're not technical, the whole, using a camera is a very technical thing. You have to know how to work the camera to get the shots you need. So, to me, like, if you're going to be creative, that process is knowing technical, because if you don't know what the lens does or what type of lens to use for that, you know what I mean? That'd be like having a painter that don't know about brushes.
Would you rather teach an artsy person, or would you rather teach a technical person?
I would much rather teach an artsy person, because you can the technical side of the camera is in a book. You can learn that. You know what I mean? I can teach someone that knows composition. Composition is very important, and knowing when to take the picture in that moment and that kind of stuff. Right. And you can teach the lighting and all that stuff, as long as the person has that desire to want to be better and want to take good photos. You know what I mean? Like, if they see something in a magazine, they're like, oh, I want to do that. Yeah. I can do that. Then you need to know the technical side to actually make that happen. Right. But I mean,
it's hard to teach the art.
It's hard to teach, like, it's hard to teach that, or the ideas that you have as a photographer. Like, all these ideas. That's the good part, having the ideas. Right. It's actually putting them into play with the technical side that if you don't know technical, you have to learn. But I feel like if you're a very technical person, you could get a good shot, right. But there's something else in the photo other than just knowing how to take the picture. You know what I mean? There's that connection with the people. You know what I mean?
Kind of knowing what's good and
exactly.
What's not.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an art in itself.
Yes.
Right. So once you knew that you had a love for photography, how did you make that a business or a profession?
When I was on tour, I took all the, like I said, I did that shoot, and then I did some other stuff with the band. I shot this one band, and that picture got put in a magazine right off the bat. Like, before, I was like, this is really cool. It was in like Guitar magazine or something. It was really neat. And so I said, what's the next step for this photography thing? I said, well, I mean, portraits, because I love taking pictures of people. So portraits, and I took pictures of my niece, and she was a little kid. They turned out really good. So, sorry.
Shaking the camera.
Oh, sorry, off the beat. That's not good for the camera. Anyway, so I just took pictures of my niece. It was really cool. And then when I came home back to Prattville, I said, I'm gonna start some kind of photography company, weddings or whatever. And then
I heard about that guy from the band that's gonna start a photography business.
And then Dana from Dana's was like, hey, you need to meet this girl. She's doing it too, and maybe I can be partners. All right, so I called you up, and then that's how we did it. I called her up and said, hey, I'm gonna either I'm gonna be your competitor or we can be partners. But anyway, it turned out really good. So here we are.
So good team. Okay, give me one word that describes your photography style.
You know, when I really like started getting into my like weddings and really starting to like develop a style, I think if I could use a few words, it'd be like classic or timeless. Simple. You know, very simple. Not I don't want to put lightning bolts in the back of the photo or anything that would kind of like. I just want it to be real. I want it to be real, like how it really is. I don't want to do.
I think that's why we love black and white, and even like when I see antique, you know, people's old black and white family photos, they're just timeless and you know, still beautiful and still moving. And I think maybe that's why we love black and white so much. And not all of our pictures are big smiles looking into the camera because they're emotional, and hopefully they'll still be, you know, in style.
Yeah, I definitely want it to be where when someone buys one of our fine art prints or the wedding album, I don't want in 10 years to look back and go, oh man, you know, like that's kind of dated. I want it to be a classic, timeless thing. But I wish though I could ask someone else about it, like one of our brides or whatever, to say what, you know, a few words.
What's one piece of advice you'd give someone that got a camera for Christmas that are just maybe not even professional, but just want to take a better,
want to do it?
Photo?
Well, two things. One, read your manual. Learn about what those buttons do. And then, I mean, that's like huge because, you know, you can go take a class and, you know, some class is going to teach you how to use your camera, but get that down. Get that down first where you can learn what these buttons do or what the lenses do and all that. Second thing I say is find some pictures that you like. Just like if you're just starting out, go on the internet, go anywhere, find some images that you like. And just like see what you like about them. What do you like about them? Do you like it because you know, it's really up close or really far away, or find out what you like about it. And then you know, develop your style from there. I mean, that's kind of what I mean. If you're in the beginning, and you know, I just suggest go find some images you like, not copy them, but just see what you like about them. Get them all together. Get about 50 and look at them and see what all the similarities are. If it's because the sun is out bright or it's real moody and dark. I mean, get all of them together and kind of see what you like about all of them, and then that will give you a good starting point of how, you know, where you're going to go. That's kind of, I guess, a good starting point.
Thing about being in business, making your love and your hobby something you have to rely on to pay your bills. Do you find that challenging to stay creative and to do what's true to you and your style? I mean, how do you feel about that? How did it change once you had to make a living? Because it does.
It does a little bit, I guess, because there's the pressure of like every shoot you do has to be your best work, pretty much. I mean, you can't just start shooting and then like, oh, I don't want to do it today. You have to always be on. I think that's a challenge too. Like, for everything we do, it's like not a challenge. I love photography. I love what I do, but you know, every session has to be. You have to be on. You have to. You know, they're paying you. You have to be the best you can. Not have to be, but you want to be the best you can. So those folks will be like, hey, you did a great job. I think that's the biggest challenge, is being the best you can at every shoot and keep growing and growing and growing. I mean, that's going to happen, but I don't know, challenge as far as business, I guess the pressure of like, you do what you love, and it's not, you're not supposed to make a living at what you love, you know what I mean, your whole life. Go get a job, go work in Winn-Dixie.
Probably the pressure to be creative in every session. As you grow, that means being creative daily. More.
Yeah.
So, okay, the second part to that question is when you need, where do you go to be inspired? Like when you're feeling that kind of, I've shot, 15 sessions this week. Oh, I'm tired. Where do you go for inspiration?
Man, I go all over the place. There's so many photographers that are good now. Like I go online and look at other photographers and what they're doing. I look at magazines are a huge inspiration. Like you can just go to a magazine, the bookstore, and go to the magazine section. All those like images that pop up on the covers. I mean, all that's kind of inspirational. I look back at like some of my favorite weddings that I've shot, And I wonder why. Okay, why is this one like? Oh man, it's so awesome. Is it the lighting? Is it the people? Is it this and that? And I kind of look at that and see what I did that made me so happy about it, and I try to kind of keep that going. And I look at like huge other artists, not just like photographers, but artists like painters and stuff. Right. And not so much, but when I'm somewhere and I see a really cool painting, I'm like, why am I drawn to that? How can I like incorporate that into photography, or what's the view on that that's so like the Seth Montgomery Fine Arts right now. I can't even think of her name.
Oh, Anne Liebowitz.
Yeah. Like I went there, it's all women stuff, not one wedding shot in the whole. Well, I think there's one wedding shot, but it's not like wedding based or portrait. It's all just I guess it is portrait based, all about just women and different times and different eras, and just seeing that body of work of like, man, it's like one big body of work. Although there's all kind of different photos in there, that kind of inspires me to get creative, being organized, and like how can I make my photography all like every wedding I do just one body of work. I think that inspires me because I want to be consistent through every wedding. So
is that kind of how your joshmoates.com, your fine artwork kind of came to be, as a personal project, something you could do for you that kind of got you creative?
Yeah, it was kind of like, okay, I was born and raised here in the South in Montgomery, and you kind of like just like Picasso and stuff, they painted what they were near. They painted what they were around every day, and the photographers, they shoot what's around them. I mean, that's just how it is. So I was like, man, I just need to go out and shoot like what I like about our city, or you know what I mean, like the parts of the city that I like, and that's like one body of work. When you go there, I feel like it's a one kind of southern theme, because that's where I grew up. So yeah, I think that's kind of a very having that extra project kind of keeps me
Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions from the Weird and Wacky Interview question list that I got off the internet today.
Uh-oh.
Just be quick answers.
All right.
What's your favorite color?
Ooh, gray.
Okay.
Gray or black's pretty cool.
What's your favorite drink?
Unsweet tea.
Okay. What was the last book you read?
Like
audiobook
count? Yeah. A Success CD on from Brian. Well, it's in Success Magazine on Brian Tracy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's awesome.
What's the best movie? Your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Probably Stand By Me. That's a cool movie.
What's your favorite song?
Ooh. Well, I don't know. I guess Be Quiet and Drive. Deftones, yeah.
Oh, Deftones.
That's one of the best songs ever written.
Okay. If you were a superhero, what would you want your superpower to be?
Ooh. Invisible would be pretty sweet.
If you had 6 months to live, what would you do with the time?
Oh my gosh. That's not an easy one. I think, seriously, I hate flying. I really hate flying. I would take all the money I had, which ain't much, and I'd Aubrey and Ever, and put them on a plane, and I'd probably just go to a bunch of different countries and just and I would document it with some cool shots and have them framed as a body of work. So when I'm dead, they'd all go for a lot of money, and then
your family would be taken
care of.
Okay, if you won the lottery, $20 million, what would you do with the money?
Oh, $20 million? I definitely would split it up. I would take probably $20 million, huh? I thought about this a bunch, so I know. I'd probably take 5 for myself, or maybe even like 8 for myself, and I would give the rest of my family and friends. I'd split. Yeah, I'd hook you up, and then I would give a bunch to probably. I know this sounds so cliche, but I would just find some really cool charities that I knew that the money were going to the right places, and but I mean that's the best thing you can do, Just
what kind of people do you dislike?
Fake people. I know that's cliche to say too, but I hate when I'm talking to someone and you can tell they don't really care about what you're saying. I just rather just stop talking or walk off than continue with a fake conversation.
What makes you angry?
I don't know. When I'm at a wedding and my like I miss a shot because it doesn't focus right. That pisses me off pretty bad.
All right.